I'm so pleased to see you. I was going to ring you this evening.
Yeah.
I've got a big favour to ask.
Go ahead.
Now look, I know you're not on duty this weekend, but it's the old person's lunch on Sunday and I've been let down at the last minute.
Oh no. Oh
Any
dear.
way you might be able to...
Sunday?
Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Are you
All
sure?
right. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
A little bit of
Yep.
hesitance.
No, that's fine.
Sure?
No, of course, that's fine.
You're
Don't you
a
worry.
star. Thank
Don't
you
you worry.
so much.
No problem.
How
All
are
right.
you?
I'm fine. I've got to move on now. But
Okay, well,
see you again.
see you Sunday. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hello. How are you? I'll sit here, shall I? Oh, what a lovely room. And the view is beautiful.
Hello, Gillian. My name's Georgia, and I'm one of the counsellors here.
Nice to meet you. I haven't seen you here before. Counsellor, hey. How long have you been doing that then?
Well, I've been here about 6 months, Gillian. Now, before we start...
6 months, hey? Not too long then. Do you like it here? I should imagine counselling could be quite stressful. All about people's problems and difficulties. It must be hard work. Still, no worries here, eh? They're lovely people. I've known Beryl on reception since she was at school. Lovely girl. And then, Dr. Johnson and his wife, well, they've been living around here almost as long as I have. He'll be retiring soon, I think, to spend more time with his grandchildren. Yeah, it's a lovely place to work.
OK, Gillian, before we start, there are a few things we need to discuss. Is that OK with you?
Fire away. I'm happy to help you where I can.
OK, then. As I said, I'm one of the counsellors here, and the surgery can offer up to 10 sessions of counselling.
Oh, grief, I wouldn't dream of taking up so much of your time.
Well, that's entirely up to you, Gillian. The sessions are yours if you need them, but you can choose what's best for you. Perhaps we can see how today goes and decide a way forward from there. Now, each session will last for 50 minutes and we'll try and find a day and time that suits you if you choose to continue. The sessions are confidential, but we may need to let Dr. Clark know if there is a serious risk to your well-being or someone else's. How does that sound?
That's a little bit dramatic to me. I'm about as dangerous as newly laid eggs. Listen to me. Carry on, don't mind me.
Finally, I do discuss my work with a supervisor to ensure I work as well as I can, but I won't mention you by name, so your anonymity will be protected. Is that okay, Gillian? I realise that's a lot to take in. Do you have any questions?
I'm fine. It's good you have a supervisor though. Like I said, it must be quite stressful, especially with being new to the area and everything. How are you settling in?
Well, thank you for asking, Gillian, but we're here today to talk about you, not me. What brings you here today?
Don't worry about me, love. I don't know why Dr. Clark sent me, really. I mean, I've been having a few headaches, that's all, really. A bit breathless sometimes, mostly at night. But all the tests were fine. I know that counselling can be talking about your problems, and I suppose, well, I was a little bit worried for a while.
So all the tests were fine, and yet you say Dr. Clark sent you here for some counselling sessions. Why do you think he did that?
Well, like I said, I was a little bit worried. I thought I might be asthmatic or something. I did have to miss work a fair bit, and I do the Sunday school too, and I make teas at the local sheltered housing club. I hate letting people down. And then, of course, I have the grandkiddies over at the weekend. I hate letting people down.
So you've had to miss quite a few of your commitments due to how you're feeling, is that right?
Well, I was a bit poorly there for a while, but all the tests were fine.
So all the tests were fine.
But Dr. Clark thinks I'm stressed. So here I am.
And what do you think, Gillian? Do you think you're stressed?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I love to help out. It's what I'm best at.
Well, Gillian, Dr. Clark sent you here because he thinks you might be stressed. But you don't agree, so where does that leave us? How should we spend our time together?
Don't know what to say.
You seem quite uncomfortable in the silence.
Well, I'm not sure what you want me to do.
Gillian, since we've began, you've talked about how other people are. You've asked me about my well-being a few times. But how about you, Gillian? How are you?
Well, is it a bad thing to care about other people? I mean, I thought it was a good thing. I was brought up that way. I didn't know it would be, well, frowned upon.
It's interesting that you took that as a criticism, Gillian. Is that how it felt to you?
Well, it's just that Dr. Clark said the same thing. He said that I spend all my time looking after other people. But it's how I was brought up. I mean, it's something I've always done. I couldn't turn my back if somebody needed help. I mean, I'm just not that kind of person.
So it's something that you like doing, helping and caring for others. I'm still wondering, though, about how you feel and what you need.
I'm not bothered about myself. I mean, I get along okay. Generally.
So, other people's needs and feelings are much more important than your own.
I hadn't really thought about it like that before. I mean, I've always been like that. And I grew up looking after my mum and my sister and brother. I was glad to help. I really was glad to help.
So you actually grew up looking after other people?
Well, my poor mum was in an accident when I was 6 and she lost the use of both her legs. And she got so down, depressed.
A terrible accident, leaving your mother unable to walk, understandably down and depressed.
She'd get so frustrated at herself and at the world. I was glad to be able to care for her. She was a great mum before. It was a privilege to look after her. And then my dad left just before the accident. Talk about bad luck. So she finds herself on her own with 3 kids under 7. No social services in those days. And I was the eldest.
You said a few times that you were glad to help, that it was a privilege, and that you lost your dad then too.
You don't understand. I had to help. I didn't just lose my dad, I lost my mum too. Well, she changed completely. She became all bitter and so unhappy. I would have done anything to make her better. You've got it all wrong. I didn't help so much for her. I did it for me. I couldn't bear to see my mum like that. I wanted my mum back. And then sometimes when I'd got everything sorted, she'd tell me she loved me and what a treasure I was. And just for those few minutes, I had my mum back. So you see, it wasn't for her sake, it was for mine. And I still do it, don't I? Gosh, where did all that come from? It sounded like somebody else talking. Oh, I don't know what came over me.
Well, we've talked about how you learned from a very young age to put other people's needs before your own. We also began the session looking at how some physical problems actually led you here.
Thanks to Dr. Clark.
Indeed. You've since found out that all your test results are okay, and that there appears to be no explanation for your breathlessness and headaches.
It's crazy, isn't it?
We then went on to spend some time looking a little bit more closely at what it was like for you after your mother's accident when you were 6. I'm wondering, what's going on for you now, Gillian? How are you feeling?
I don't know. I'm confused. My thoughts are all kind of jumbling together and I can't seem to make sense of them.
That's understandable, Gillian. You've remembered and talked about some very painful and difficult times.
That's true. But it doesn't change anything, does it? I've still got a bloody headache.
How about if your headache and breathlessness could talk, if we gave them a voice, what would they say?
They'd say, oh, I'm tired. I'm tired. So very, very tired.
Exhausted. Perhaps your headache and breathlessness are communicating what you haven't been able to say, that you're worn out.
But I can't let people down. What will they think of me? And what will I do? I mean, if I don't put people first, what good will I be?
What good will you be? That feels like a very sad statement, Gillian.
But it's just that my mum was only ever nice to me after the accident when I ran myself ragged for her. Oh, I feel terrible thinking like that.
You feel bad thinking that way?
I do. Guilty, disloyal. But it's true. I thought it was me, that I was naughty, horrible, that I made her unhappy.
It seems that somewhere along the line, you began to believe that you were unlovable and had to settle for being needed.
I didn't expect this when I came in today.
We're close to the end of our time for today. Feels to me as if we've travelled a long way in this session.
You're telling me?
How are you feeling now, Gillian?
Oh, I still don't know. A bit shell-shocked, I think.
I can believe it. Now, as I mentioned, we can have 10 sessions. I know you said at the start that you didn't want to take up too much of my time. How do you feel now?
I don't know, Georgia. Do I have to let you know now?
No, not at all. Have a think about it. If you'd like to come back, just phone the surgery and they'll make the appointment for you.
I will. I'll think about it. No, I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to book it right now. I'm going to do something for me for a change.